Welcome to International Securities Exchange's podcast series. Facilitated by renowned educators, ISE podcasts are intended to teach beginning as well as seasoned investors the ins and outs of trading. To find an updated list of podcasts, please visit www.ise.com/podcasts. Please be sure to listen to our important message following this episode regarding the risks of investing in exchange-traded options.
Question from Ed, Nicole. If you have a sense of a relationship between a currency pair and a commodity, for, let's just say the CDD and gold or oil, how might you form a strategy incorporating the direction to the corresponding pair? It sounds like what Ed's talking about is correlation analysis. What do you think there, Nicole?
Yeah, I mean, it's an idea. You're coming up with a much broader concept than, say, what's happening in this little world of oil, or what's happening in the little world of the Canadian dollar and so on. Steve, I really haven't traded much commodities or currencies. I was primarily an equity and ETF index trader. I think do you have some background in this? I know you have extensive background trading many different products.
Yeah, one thing I would just mention is that there's nothing wrong with trying to go to the next level, but if you try to jump too far too fast, let me just use a metaphor of when you're in college and you take a 100 level class and you get an A, you don't jump into the 400 level class. So, Ed, if you feel comfortable in correlation analysis, great, but you got to understand that these correlations, and a lot of big banks and, of course, big institutions and even big retail investors start to look at these correlations and make some trades on them based on these correlations holding true, whether they're going to be positive correlations or negative correlations. And you got to understand, as long as you are flexible, you're versatile enough to admit you're wrong, you're probably okay with this. But Nicole, you probably would agree with me here that the guys that are, and the women that are not flexible are the ones that really get burned when you start to do, whether it's correlation analysis or just simple, trading XYZ stock without any ability to change their mind.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, Steve. If anyone is not sure about a large name that did not have flexibility, long-term capital would come to mind. They didn't think they could ever be wrong, and it was quite the opposite.
Very good. I love correlations, but I do understand that they could actually break tomorrow, or invert or whatever. So I like them, but they also have broad ramifications of, a shift in a correlation could actually help you in some other instrument. That's the way I think. Well, these foreign currency pairs, are they for every person? No, but I think every person should be watching them, because I think you'll get some ideas on your broad overall portfolio. What's working, what's happening, what's the dollar doing, and I think that it'll help your overall trading. Nicole, do you have any closing comments before we end this webinar? First of all, I want to say thank you on the behalf of the ISE, because I love the idea that you actually, took those volatilities and you divided them into 3 different categories, so that you weren't saying that they were necessarily ultimately high or ultimately low, but at least you get a ballpark of relatively where you stood. So I think that makes it really easy to understand. Thanks for bringing that concept to us.
Oh, thank you, Steve. It was a pleasure being here. I hope it was something worthwhile for the attendees. It's always a compliment to have people spend their time with you. So it was good for me. I hope it was good for you. And please check us out at TradeKing.com. We're having a webinar at 6 o'clock at webinars.tradeking.com, and love to see you.
Nicole, do you have your email address? There's 1 or 2 attendees that would want to contact you. Is that all right, or is there a best way to get you at TradeKing?
The best way is to send an email to webinars@tradeking.com, and that goes to me, because I handle that as part of my responsibilities for being Director of Education.
Perfect, Nicole.
One more thing I forgot to mention, sorry, Steve, is that we also have a few different blogs, and I'm editor and writer for the All-Star blog, and you can access that at community.tradeking.com. We highlight many different traders and many different styles, cover many different educational pieces, and this is something that you don't need to log in to access. It's readily available at community.tradeking.com, so please check us out there as well.
That's great, Nicole. One last question from Nigel. He says, do you have education on TradeKing with respect to what you taught tonight? You know, the strategy setups based on the implied volatility. Do you have any archives there or any sort of PowerPoints similar to what you just did today or tonight?
Yeah, actually, this topic I spoke of tonight, actually I cover in 3 parts. The first one is how to determine your outlook, and the next one goes into the Greeks and how those can help impact the trade, and then finally some shortcuts to help you really get down to a few strategies very quickly. So yes, I have an expanded version of this presentation on the archives at TradeKing. The best way to access that is to go to webinars.tradeking.com, and then within that page you will have access to other months of archives, and you'll be able to see it there.
Nicole, thank you very, very much. Very, very interesting presentation, and I hope you'll come back in a couple months with something else, because you know, first of all, we always get questions, how can I trade these FX options? We have people all over the States, Canada, wherever, and people are trying to access these. So, you know, here's another broker, TradeKing. And please, everyone, check out the webinars at TradeKing. In fact, in 30 minutes, Price Eagley is going to be there live, so I'd urge you to go and check it out. Nicole, thanks so much on behalf of the ISC. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
Have a great night. I just want to remind everyone that on Thursday we have Jack Crooks back with us at the ISC, and he'll be talking about why the euro might disappear. That sounds really interesting. Obviously, in the last 4 or 5 months, the euro has just gained in value, but Jack has a different view. So please, why the euro might disappear, sign up for it. That'll be the same exact time as we gave the presentation this evening. But if you can't make it, you can always go to www.isc.com/archives and listen to the presentation via archive anytime after. The next day, so by Friday, we'll have it up. I think that please come and join us. Jack spends a lot of time with the ISC, and again, Nicole will hopefully be back with us sometime in the near future. Please come back and learn as much as you can, and TradeKing in a couple minutes. Nicole, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve.
So on the behalf of the ISC, this is Steve Meisinger, your host, saying thank you very much for joining the ISC this evening. And again, try to learn as much as you can about options. The ISC FX options are available for everyone, as long as you have an account at a broker like at TradeKing. And once you feel comfortable, please, you can implement your view right through brokers like TradeKing. But until you're ready, please continue to keep coming to the webinars. And this Thursday, we have Jack Crooks with us. So thank you very much. This is Steve Meisinger saying have a great evening on behalf of the ISC. Take care now.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. To find more podcasts on options, stocks, alternative markets, and market data, please visit www.isc.com/podcasts.